value of 75 degrees, cosine 75 degrees. So you need to find what is cosine 75 degrees. If you look here in this table here, initially here, I have 30, I have 45, I have 60, which is basically pi by 6, pi by 4 and pi by 3 and then pi by 2. I mean, I have these things 30, 45 and 60. I don't have 75. I don't know what is 75, but I need to find what is 75. How do I do it is cosine. Can I write 75 as something plus something or something minus something? And those two I already know. So I know what is 0, 30, 45, 60 and 90. I know what is 0, 30, 45, 60 and 90. Can anyone tell me a way to write 75 using these angles?
45 plus 30.
Exactly, 45 plus 30. That's a good combination. 45 plus 30. Now since I wrote it like this, I'm going to use this formula here. It becomes cosine 45, cosine 30. Since it was plus, it will change to minus sine 45, sine 30. And I'll just plug in the values. Cosine 45 I know is root 2 over 2. Cosine 30 is root 3 over 2. I'm going to multiply these two minus sine 45 is root 2 over 2 and sine 30 is 1 over 2. So you basically, when you solve this, you will get equal to root 6 over 2 minus root 2 over, root 6 over 4 minus root 2 over 4. You can take out 1 over 4 common, you're left with root 6 minus root 2. So you try to make your angle in such a way, so that you can use the formulas, cosine formulas, if you don't know the exact value. Any questions, anyone? Let me see if there is an example here. So if I say find the value of cosine 165. Cosine 165. What can you do? These are the values I already know. Anyone who can tell me?
It could be any two angles?
Any two angles you already know.
Like 90 and, wait, what's 90?
It could be anywhere up to pi, right?
Yeah, anywhere up to pi, yes.
Well, then I would do is it's going to be 120 plus 45.
You're saying cosine 120 plus 45.
Plus 45.
Exactly. You can do 135 plus 30. It will still give you the same answer. You can do anything which you want, whichever it looks, but the ones you already know here. So it becomes cosine 120, cosine 45. Since it's an addition sign, you're going to put a minus sign, sine 120, sine 45 and plug in the values. Cosine 120, negative 1/2. Cosine 45, root 2 over 2. Minus sine 120 is here, root 3 over 2. And sine 45 is root 2 over 2. So you basically get negative root 2 over 4 minus root 6 over 4. You can take out common negative and root 2 outside over 4 and you're left with 1 minus root 3. So basically you have to find a combination in such a way that you get this angle.
Is that negative 1 over 2 times root 2 over 2?
Yes, it's times. You multiply, yes. Okay. Similarly is with radians also. In radians also you can write it the same way we've been doing. It's the same thing. Other properties is, so you want to write here cosine. Okay. Important properties here. So if you want to write these, this is very important here. Okay. It says if you have cosine pi by 2, so from 90 degree you are subtracting some angle. From 90 degree you are subtracting some angle, it will actually be equal to, it will just be equal to sine theta. It will come out to be just equal to sine theta. I mean, you can plug in the formula this thing, but it will just take, you should know directly. From 90, if you subtract a theta, it will become to sine theta. And from sine, if you find sine 90 minus theta, that is pi by 2 minus theta, it will change to cosine theta. Very important formulas. You will be using this a lot. So make sure you remember this. Cosine 90 minus theta is exactly equal to sine theta, and sine 90 minus theta is equal to directly cosine theta. Let's do example here. So do you have the example here? So before that, they want to give sum and difference formula for sine function. So we did for cosine function, now for sine function. If you have sine alpha plus beta, okay, in this case it will be sine alpha, but then you have cosine beta. Note in cosine we had both of them cosine first, but in this case you have sine first, then cosine. It's a plus, it will remain plus. Then it will be cosine alpha sine beta. Make sure you remember the differences. For cosine, it is cosine alpha, cosine beta. First you have cosine functions minus the sine functions. But in this case you have sine, cosine plus cosine sine. Similarly for minus, it's the same thing, but only the sign changes. If it's minus, it will remain minus sign. For example, it says find the exact value of sine 80 cosine 20 degree minus cosine 80 sine 20 degrees. If you are given this thing, they want you to find the exact value of this thing. Okay. Carly? Is Carly here? Jelena? Not here. Axel?
Yes.
Oh, Jelena is here. Okay. So, Jelena, does this formula look like something? Any of the formulas we have done before?
It looks like the sine
alpha minus beta.
Yeah, sine alpha.
Alpha minus beta. So, because there is a minus sign and then have sine, cosine, minus cosine, sine, that means it looks like this formula. So, what does it become?
Yes.
Can you tell me sine? What's my alpha?
So your alpha is 80.
Okay, 80 minus beta is
20.
20. Exactly. So, it becomes sine 60, which is equal to what? Can you tell me the value of sine 60?
Sine 60 is Square root of 3 over 2.
Perfect. See, that's how you solve it. Let's do one more problem here. So it says find the exact value of 7 pi by 12. Oh, sorry, sine 7 pi by 12. You have to find the exact value of sine 7 pi by 12. Note 7 pi by 12 I can write as 3 pi by 12 plus 4 pi by 12. Can I do that? 7 pi by 12 is basically 3 pi by 12 and 4 pi by 12, which is basically 7 pi by 12 only. I just split them. And if I simplify them, what is 3 divided by 12? Anyone, if you simplify 3 pi by 12, what do you get?
4.
Pi by 4. What about 4 pi by 12? Anyone?
A third.
Now, pi by third. Now you have sine of, and you know what is pi by 4. You know values for pi by 4. You know values for pi by 3. Now you can use the formula directly. It becomes sine pi by 4 cosine pi by 3. Since a plus sign, I'm going to plus sign. Then cosine of the first angle, sine of the second angle. And you plug in the values, which is root 2 over 2. Cosine pi by 3 is, sine pi by 3 is 1 over 2 times, and there is plus root 2 over 2, and sine pi by 360 root 3 over 2. When you solve, you will get, I can take out, you get root 2 over 4 plus root 6 over 4. When you solve, you can take out 1 4 common, you're left with root 2 plus root 6. Let's do examples on this before I go further. I want you to find the value of sine 17 pi by 12. Also, I want you to do question cosine 70 degree cosine 20 degree minus sine 70 degrees sine 20 degrees. I want you to do this problem, these two problems by yourself right now. Try it. Yeah. Come on, answer question. Okay. Can I have Axel? Axel not here? Okay. Can I have Alejandro? Not here. Jose?
Yeah, I had a quick question for the second one.
Yeah.
So since it's the second property for the cosine because of the subtraction, cosine alpha, cosine beta minus sine alpha, beta. Wouldn't we just subtract cosine 70 from 20?
Do you really subtract?
Let me check that property real quick. Oh, you're adding.
Adding. Yeah.
So it'd be cosine 90 and x
Yeah.
is 0?
Yeah, it's cosine 90, and cosine 90 is what?
0?
Cosine 90 is 0. Yes.
And for that first one, isn't it that what we just did for the example?
How will you write 17 pi by 12? First, you tell me how will you write 17 pi by 12?
Do you want me to break it up into 3 pi over 12 plus 4 pi over 12?
It's not 7 pi, it's 17 pi.
Oh, it's 17 pi.
It's 17 pi.
But something that's on the unit circle, right?
Yes, something you can find on unit circle, or you can convert. Like in this, I wrote as 3 pi by 12 and 4 pi by 12. These are not on the unit circle, but if I simplify, they convert to this thing.
You mean converting into
Something which I know.
I would,
12?
Anyone who found it?
yeah, I mean, I found a way. It's going to be 9 pi over 12 plus 8 pi over 12.
You're saying 8 pi over 12.
And then we can convert that into pi over 3.
Yeah.
No, I mean 2 pi over 3.
3 pi over 4, right?
Yeah. Yeah, 3 pi over 4, and then the other one's going to be 2 pi over 3.
2 pi over 3, correct. And we know 3 pi over 4 and we know 2 pi over 3 also. Really good, correct. Now, Eduardo answered, right? Really
I
good.
just did it in my head.
Really good. So once you have this thing, you need to plug in the formulas. Sine one angle plus other angle is sine of first angle, cosine of second angle, and it's plus, it will remain plus, then cosine of first angle, sine of second angle, and then you just plug in the values. Sine of 3 pi by 4 is root 2 over 2. Cosine of 2 pi over 3 is negative 1 over 2. Plus, you get cosine 3 pi over 4, which is again negative root 2 over 2, and sine 2 pi over 3 is root 3 over 2. When you will solve, you will get 1, 4, negative 1, 4 outside. You will be left with root 2 plus root 6. I'm sorry, I did not leave space. So basically you just plug in values and then solve. You have to figure out a way to write 17 pi by 12. Always you should have your unit circle in front, then only you can figure it out.
I printed one.
Yeah, that's
I
really
think it's
good.
recommended for you guys to do it too.
Yeah, unit circle is very important, guys. You cannot do without unit circle in front of you. Okay, next thing here, let's do one more problem. Is the question says, say it is known that you're given sine alpha is equal to 4 over 5, and a condition is given that my alpha is between pi and pi by 2, and that you're given sine theta is equal to negative 2 over root 5. Okay, and you're given it is between pi and 3 pi over 2. You're given this thing. They say find the value of each of the following. Whenever in the question they say exact value, that means you have to use formula. The formulas we have done before. Whenever they say find the approximate value, that means they're asking you to use a calculator. Note the difference. When they say exact value, that means you have to use the formulas. When they say approximate values, you have to use the calculator. That's the difference between the questions. Okay. So first they're asking you to find the value of cosine alpha. B, they're asking you cosine beta, and then C, they're asking you cosine alpha plus beta, and D, they're asking you to find value of sine alpha plus beta. You have to find these 4 values. Let's do the first one, cosine alpha. We need to find the value of cosine alpha. Note, sine alpha is given to be 4 over 5. Okay. I am given an angle alpha. It says it is from pi by 2 less than pi. This is my first quadrant. This is my second quadrant. This is my third. This is my fourth. This is 0. This is pi by 2. This is pi. This is 3 pi by 2. When they say pi by 2 less than pi less than alpha less than pi, which quadrant am I talking about here? Can anyone tell me which quadrant? Pi by 2 to pi. Which is a quadrant? Which is pi by 2 to pi? Anyone?
The second?
In the second.
Yes, it's the second. 90 to 180. 90 to 180 is second quadrant. So my alpha is in this side. I know it. Can anyone tell me, is my cosine in this side? Cosine is positive or negative? In quadrant 2, is my cosine positive or negative?
Negative.
Yeah, because all students take calculus. So if I'm finding cosine of the same angle, I know my answer is supposed to be negative. And I told you here, when you find the coordinates, okay, in the second quadrant, your x coordinate is always negative and your second quadrant is always positive. See, your x coordinate is always negative and y coordinate is always positive. Okay, so in this case, sine alpha, can anyone tell me what is sine alpha? Is it x over r? It is y over r? What is it? How do you write sine? What's the formula for sine? Anyone?
Y over R.
Yes, y over r. So you're saying the formula is y over r. So from this I get y is equal to 4 and r is equal to 5. Perfect. So you have formula x square plus y square is equal to r square. Use the formula then. X square plus y square is 4 square is equal to 5 square. You get x square plus 16 is equal to 25. Subtract 16, you get x square is equal to 9. Take square root on both sides. When you take a square root, you will put a plus minus sign. Get x is equal to plus minus 3. But note, you cannot get 2 answers. You are supposed to have only 1 answer. That's the reason we were talking about this thing. Second quadrant. In second quadrant, my x is always negative. My x is always negative and y is always positive. And I'm not going to take the positive one. I will just consider the negative one. So I get my x as negative 3, y as 4 and r as 5. Anyone who did not understand why I'm taking negative 3? This is the only important step here, guys. Anyone who wants me to explain this? Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I don't. I don't know why I was letting that.
Okay. Yeah. Did you get it, Angel, right?
Oh, is it because it's in the second quadrant,
Yes.
so it's always going to be negative?
Yeah, in second quadrant, x is negative and y is positive, right? Are you getting it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anyone else who has questions on this? How I got x as negative 3? Okay. Once you got this, I need to find cosine alpha. Can anyone tell me what's the formula for cosine?
X over R.
X over r. So you get negative 3 over 5. That's it. You're done with the first part. I want everyone to do cosine beta the same way. You're given sine beta. You're given the angle, figure out the quadrant and find the value of sine beta. The same way. Try this right now. You're given sine beta and the angle. And one die? Not here in one die. Is Daniel here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Daniel. Let's start solving this. So you are given sine beta is equal to -2 over root 5 and you're given pi is less than beta is less than 3 pi by 2. I need to find cosine beta. Okay. First of all, which quadrant am I talking about?
The third one.
Third one. You're saying in here. In this case, what happens to my x and y?
They're both negative.
So you are saying your x also is negative, your y is also negative. Okay. Okay. Let's see. What's the formula for sine?
Is sine is y over r.
Okay. So from this formula, if you compare, what's your y and what's your r?
Y is equals -2 and r is square root of 5.
What's the general formula?
X squared plus y squared equals r squared.
Okay, let's put in here. So you get x square plus -2 square is equal to root 5 square. What is -2 square?
1,
And root 5 square?
5.
Okay. Then I subtract 4, I get x squared is equal to, oh sorry, add. Oh yeah, it's subtract 4, you get 1. You get x is equal to what? What is square? You take square root, you put a plus minus 1. You get plus minus 1. Which one will you consider?
We will consider that -1.
Yeah, because it's in the third quadrant and x is negative. You got x as -1, y as -2 and r as square root of 5. I need to find cos beta. What's my cos beta?
Cos beta is x over r, so it would be -1 over the square root of 5.
Really good. Really, really good. Good. Any questions, anyone?
Can I see that previous page real quick?
Previous page, yes.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anybody else has questions?
Slow it down.
Yeah. Okay, I'll slow it down. Yeah, no problem.
Oh, for the previous one, it was -1 over root 5. So when we're answering that on the test, are we gonna have to multiply root 5 on top of what? No, we can leave it as -1 over root 5.
Yeah. Unless the question says rationalize, leave the answer as it is. Don't rationalize.
Okay.
Yeah.
C is alpha plus beta. D is sine alpha plus beta.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. I'm good.
So next we have to find the C part. We have to find the formula for cos alpha plus beta. Okay, Gerald. Is Gerald here? Okay, no. Joshua?
Right.
Is he here?
Yes, right here. Sorry, I forgot to unmute.
It's okay. So what's the formula for cos alpha plus beta, Gerald?
The formula?
Yes, we did it in the beginning of the lecture. What is the formula for cosine of alpha plus beta?
I don't think I got that part because I came in late because I was updating my computer.
Oh, so the formula for this thing is cosine alpha cosine beta. If it's a plus, you're going to put a negative sign in case of cosine, and it is sine alpha, sine beta. This is a formula. Can you tell me what's the value of cosine alpha? We just found out.
The value of cosine alpha is, that was the,
A part.
so the negative, wait,
See, in the first part we did the question.
yeah, so,
See here.
wait, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So, cause, let's see, we have,
See here. On the screen, if you see it.
that was the -3 over the
5.
square root of 5, correct?
Just 5, not square root of 5.
Just 5, I'm sorry.
Okay. And then cosine beta, we just found right now here, which is -1 over root 5.
Root 5, there you go.
Okay. And then you have minus sine alpha, you had was sine alpha, yeah, 4 over 5 times sine beta, you had -2 over root 5.
Root 5.
When you multiply, you get 3 over 5 root 5 plus 8 over 5 root 5. I can take out 5, sorry. I can take out 5 root 5 outside. I'm left with 3 plus 8, which is 11 over 5 root 5. If the question says rationalize, then you can rationalize. When you rationalize, you get 11 root 5 over 25. If the question says rationalize, then you multiply whatever is in the square root, you multiply and divide by that same thing. This becomes 5, and 5 times 5 becomes 25. If they ask you rationalize.
Why did you take it out for the 3 plus 8?
Just to show how to add. You can just add directly if you know how to do it. It's just for people who don't know how to add fractions. You can take out common and then add. Do the D part, sine alpha plus beta. Find sine alpha plus beta. The same way we did here. Is Joshua here?
Yes.
Okay. Sine alpha plus beta. You have to find. What's the formula for sine alpha plus beta?
Sine alpha cos beta plus cos alpha sine beta.
Perfect. And what is sine alpha?
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck on.
In the question, it's given. Sine alpha was given in the question.
Oh, can I see the question again?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. 4/5.
And cosine beta we found, which was
-2 over 5.
-1 over root 5. Okay. Cosine beta we found was, did you copy it or no?
Oh no.
Okay, that's why you don't know. Sine beta we found was -2 over this thing. You just plug in the values. When you solve, what do you get?
Equals to -4 over 5 radical 5 plus 6 over 5 radical 5.
Okay, when you simplify, what do you get?
How much you convert into? Would it be 2 radical 5 over 25?
Yes, correct. When you rationalize, it will come out to be this thing. Correct, absolutely correct. Any questions, anyone? Did you guys?
This is just really like a 5-part problem where we're just finding it's gonna give us one, say, like it gave us sine beta,
The one, yes. This
and
one?
then we're just finding the rest, so we can do the property.
Which one are you talking about? You're talking about this one, right?
Yeah, where I'm talking about the question that we just did. It's just like a multi-part problem where it's gonna give us basically one, like it gave us sine beta, and then we're gonna have to find the rest, and then so we can use the properties, correct?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Anyone who has trouble with these kind of problems and wants me to give an example, I mean, a practice problem for this one. Otherwise, I'm going to go forward. If you want practice problem for this one, let me know, okay? Everybody understood this concept?
We get one more example.
Example, okay. So everyone do this problem by yourself. Let's see. Do you guys have your books or no?
Only got the code.
Okay, only got the code. Okay, so then maybe. So you're given sine alpha as 0 less than alpha less than pi by 2. And then you're given cosine beta as, you're given as 2 root 5 over 2. And it is between negative pi by 2 less than pi less than 0. You're given this thing. Okay, you need to find the value of sine alpha minus beta. You have to find this thing. Do this problem right now. Sine alpha minus beta. Christopher?
Yes.
Okay, let's see how you're gonna start this problem.
Okay, so since we know what sine alpha is, and the formula is going to be sine alpha cosine beta minus cosine alpha sine beta.
Exactly. Yes.
We plug them in.
The
Which
thing
is
is,
gonna be,
I don't have all of
zero.
them. I know sine and cosine beta only. I don't know what is cosine alpha, sine beta.
Oh. Okay.
So I need to find these two. How do I find cosine alpha and sine beta?
You basically do what we did in the past problems, right?
How do you do that?
Say that again?
How do you do that?
Can I get a lifeline?
Okay, so let's see. So you have sine this thing alpha 3 over 5, right? And my alpha is between 0 and pi by 2. Which quadrant am I talking about?
You're talking about quadrant 1.
Quadrant 1. In quadrant 1, my x and y values, are they positive, negative, or what are they?
Positive.
Both of them are positive. Okay. What's the formula for sine?
Y over R.
Okay. What's your y?
3.
R.
5.
What's the general formula?
X squared plus Y squared is equal to R squared.
Okay. So you get x squared plus 3 squared is equal to 5 squared. X squared plus what do you get?
Pretty sure it's 4.
Yeah. You're correct.
Positive 4.
You're correct. X square is equal to, you get 16. Then you take square root on both sides. You get x is equal to plus minus 4. But since it's in first quadrant, I'm just going to consider the positive one. You have x as 4, y as 3 and r as 5. I need cosine alpha. What is it?
Cosine is X over R, so it's 4 over 5.
Correct. So you got your cosine now. So I know my cosine. But one thing I don't know is sine beta now. So
Okay.
same way you're going to help me find my sine beta. I'm given cosine beta is equal to 2 root 5 over 2. And I'm given negative pi by 2 less than pi less than 0. Which quadrant am I talking about?
Negative pi over 2.
Negative pi over 2. See, when you go clockwise, anti-clockwise, it is positive angles. When you go clockwise it is negative angles.
Okay, because it's 3 different things, 3 different quadrants.
Yes. No, it's not 3 different quadrants. It's just one quadrant.
But negative pi over 2 is 3 pi over 2. So that would be like 270 degrees and 0.
So
it's quadrant 4. What am I
It's
talking about?
exactly. Negative pi over 2 means you're going just 90 from 0 to 90 only you're going. This is negative pi over 2. That means I'm talking about in the 4th quadrant. And what happens to the x and y values in the 4th quadrant?
X is positive, y is negative.
Exactly. So what's the formula for cosine?
Say that again.
What's the formula for cosine? Cosine of an
Oh,
angle?
cosine is x over y, x over r.
X over r. So your x is what?
Your x is
Wait a second. Is it 2? So no, wait. Guys, it's 2 root 5
2 root
over
5.
5. Guys,
Yeah.
this is the formula. I wrote it wrong. It is 2 root 5 over 5. Make sure you correct this. The value of cosine beta. So it's not 2. Otherwise, they will cancel. Yeah. So what's your
Okay.
x?
So yeah, it's 2 root 5.
And your y is?
5.
5. So
Gotta
we
say
need
2.
let find the value of tell me r. Sorry, r. R is this.
R.
Find the value of y. Tell me.
Okay. Y is positive negative root 5.
And which one will you consider?
And y would be negative,
Yes.
so it would be negative root 5.
Okay. So what's your? I need the value of sine beta now.
So sine is y over r, so
Which
it's
is
negative root 5 over 5.
perfect. Now I can put in the formula. You already gave me the formula sine alpha cosine beta minus cosine alpha sine beta. And now I know all the values I can plug in. You get 3 over 5 times 2 root 5 over 5 minus cosine alpha you got as 4 over 5 times negative root 5 over 5. Can you give me the final answer, Christopher?
So it's going to be 6 root 5 over 5 minus 4. Wait. Yeah, it's just 4
Positive
times
4,
negative root 5 or negative root 5.
which comes out to be
That's 10 root 5 over 5.
okay. Can you simplify?
Or it's. Wait, it is that?
Yeah, it is. You're correct.
Oh. Which is 2 root 5.
Correct. Really good, Christopher. If this question you get in your exam, it will be easily worth at least 7 to 8. So make sure you know how to do these problems. Okay. Let's do other kind of problems here. It says establish the identity. Okay, you have to prove this. Cosine of alpha minus beta over sine alpha sine beta is actually equal to cosine alpha cosine beta plus 1. You need to prove this. Again, when you have to prove something we have already done, you start with your left hand side or start with the side which is most complicated, and I say this side is more complicated, and you prove it equal to the other side. Angel.
Yeah.
So let's start with this side. You have cosine alpha minus beta over sine alpha sine beta. Let's see how you can prove this.
Hang on 1 second. So we're supposed to prove the left-hand side?
Yeah, you have to make it equal to. So I started with my left hand side, okay?
Okay.
I need to prove it equal to the right hand side. How do I do it? Let's simplify this. Don't worry about the right hand side right now. Let's simplify.
Okay.
I have cosine of alpha minus beta. Can you expand this?
Yeah, we could use it's cosine alpha times cosine beta plus sine alpha times sine beta.
Yes, perfect. And then you have divided by sine alpha sine beta. Is there anything else you can do? It is cotangent.
I don't know. Are we able to do anything with the sine?
It is
with the bottom
cotangent.
one?
Cotangent, guys. Yeah. So
Oh no,
you
we
can-
could cancel. Yeah, we could cancel out the sine.
So what happens is you can separate them. You can separate them. So it becomes cosine alpha, cosine beta over sine alpha, sine beta plus sine alpha, sine beta over sine alpha, sine beta. Okay, when you have addition like this, you can separate it.
Oh, they don't cancel out.
You cannot cancel them because there is addition sign. The reason
Oh.
is why if I say 2 plus 3 divided by 3, I say. It is basically what? 5 divided by 3, right? But if I cancel, I'm left with just 2. That's wrong.
Oh, okay. Only when they're okay. Yeah,
So you
when they're
cannot.
multiplying.
If they're multiplying, yes, then you can cancel.
That only applies to cotangent, right? What about tangent?
It applies to everything. You
Don't
mean this
forget
property, the
cotangent.
cancelling property?
And never mind. I was thinking of something else.
Oh, okay. So in this case, they cancel. This you are left with 1. But this side here, cosine divided by sine of the same angle becomes cotangent. Similarly here, cosine divided by sine becomes cotangent. And that's what you needed. Which is equal to your right hand side.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. That was happening on the homework. Like.
They canceled out.
Yeah, they cancel. Since they are like, something divide by something. If I say divide 5 by 5, what happens? You cancel them, right? Because they're exactly the same. In this case also you have sine alpha, sine beta, and the denominator is also sine alpha, sine beta. So you can cancel them.
Are the ones above cotangents?
Yes,
And the right side
cotangents.
of the-
Yes, it's cotangents, not cosine. It's cotangents. I'm sorry, I wrote it wrong. Yeah, I wrote it wrong. Let's do problems on this. Before I go forward. So I want everyone to try this. So the problem is sine pi by 2 plus theta is equal to cosine theta. You need to prove this, and one more you're gonna do is sine. This is the second problem. We have sine alpha plus beta over sine alpha sine beta is equal to 1 plus cotangent alpha tangent beta. You need to prove these. Let me see if I can stop there. So you need to, let's see, this is the first part, this is the second part. Samantha?
Yes.
Okay, Samantha, let's do the first part. I need to prove sine 90 plus theta is equal to cosine theta. I already know that. I gave you the formula, but we need to prove this. How do you prove it?
So you want to prove the left hand side, right?
Okay, yes, that's correct. So you have left hand side as this thing. Let's expand this. What does it become?
So it's sine pi over 2
Mm-hmm.
cosine theta
Mm-hmm.
plus cosine theta.
No, pi
I
over
mean
2.
pi over 2.
Mm-hmm. And then sine.
Yeah.
What is the value of sine pi by 2?
Sine pi over 2, so that would be y. Give me a second.
1 cosine theta. And what is value of cosine pi over 2?
Cosine pi over 2, that's x. So, let me find pi over 2. Mm,
You have the unit circle, you want me to show?
I have the unit circle right here.
So what's the value of cosine pi over 2?
It's just I can't find pi over 2.
No. Pi over 2 is 90, right?
Oh, okay, 90 degrees.
So what's the value?
Oh, okay. So for cosine,
Yeah, cosine.
it is 0.
0. So you get 0 times sine theta. 1 times something will give me cosine theta, and 0 times something gives me 0, right?
Mhm.
So you're left with just cosine theta, and that was your right hand side.
Yeah.
Good. Samantha. Shaira,
Yes.
let's do this A part here. This one. So I'll start with my left hand side, and you're gonna help me to solve it.
What's the right hand side? Side say
Yes, cosine.
1 plus what?
1 plus cotangent alpha tangent beta. So the formula is sine alpha plus beta divided by sine alpha cosine beta is equal to 1 plus cotangent alpha tangent beta.
Oh, it's cosine?
Yeah, it's cosine here. It's not sine. I'm sorry. It's like, I'm noting it correctly. Okay. I want to expand this. How do I expand?
The numerator would be sine alpha, cosine beta, but cosine alpha, sine beta.
Okay, over sine alpha cosine beta. What's my next step?
You separate them.
Yes, separate them. You get sine alpha cosine beta over sine alpha cosine beta plus cosine alpha sine beta over sine alpha cosine beta. These are exactly the same, so they cancel. You're left with here what?
You're left with 1 plus
1 plus, what is
And-
cosine alpha sine alpha? Cosine divided by sine.
1 plus cotangent alpha and tangent alpha.
Tangent beta.
Beta.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Really good. Shaira. Okay, let's see guys here. I'm going to do the next problem here. So the sum, the last one is, last topic for today is sum and difference formula for tangent. So the formula for tangent is, if you have tangent alpha plus beta, this is equal to actually tangent alpha plus tangent beta over 1 minus tangent alpha tangent beta. Note if here is positive, here it will be positive in the numerator, and in the denominator it will be negative. But if you have alpha minus beta. It's negative here in the middle. Then you have tangent alpha minus tangent beta. Whatever is in the here will be the same sign in the numerator, but the sign in the denominator changes. Very common mistake is between the signs. If numerator is positive, if this is positive, numerator will be positive and denominator will be negative. If this is negative, numerator will be negative and denominator will be positive. Example, you have to prove that tangent theta plus pi is equal to tangent theta. You need to prove this. What was this? Karen?
Yes.
Okay, Karen, I need to prove this. How do you prove it?
First,
Start with left hand side.
what?
Start with left hand side because right hand side is easy. Tangent theta, we don't have to.
Okay.
Let's start with left hand side. Put in the formula and tell me what do you get.
Is tangent theta.
Which formula it is?
Hmm.
Is it the first one or the second one?
The first.
Okay, so what does it become? Tangent. What's your alpha?
Alpha is the angle.
Theta, yeah. Alpha is theta. And your beta
Is pi.
Pi. Okay, so you get 1 minus tangent theta, tangent pi. Theta, I don't know what it is. But what's the value of tangent pi?
Is 0.
0. So you get 0. 1 minus tangent theta times 0. Okay. Tangent theta plus 0 will give me just tangent theta over. What is 1 minus tangent theta times 0?
0.
0. So you get basically tangent theta divided by 1, which is just tangent theta, and that was your right hand side. You don't have to memorize this thing. You can always use the formula and solve it. Okay. Next thing I want to do one more problem is, okay, you need to prove tangent theta plus pi by 2 is equal to minus cotangent theta. You need to prove this. Eduardo?
Yes.
I want to solve this problem. Tangent of theta plus pi by 2 is equal to minus of cotangent theta. How will you do this?
So we use the formula. So we do tangent theta plus tangent pi over 2.
Okay.
Over 1 minus tangent of theta times tangent of pi over 2.
Okay. Let's put the values. Tangent theta. What's tangent pi over 2?
That one's gonna be undefined, right?
Undefined. So that means this is not how I'm gonna solve it. Nope. This is not the way to solve. Is there any other way?
Not that I think of.
Okay, can I write tangent as sine over cosine? Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you know the formula for sine? Sine theta plus pi by 2.
Yeah, it's gonna be, if we just leave theta as it is, but we put pi over 2, that's going to be 1.
Yeah, no. First we have to put in the formula. Sine theta cosine pi over 2 plus
Oh,
cosine
yeah, sine,
theta.
yeah, sine theta is cosine pi over 2 plus cosine of theta times sine of pi over 2.
What about this thing?
And for the bottom, it's going to be cosine of theta times cosine of pi over 2 plus sine of theta times sine of pi over 2.
Wait. Eduardo, when there is a plus sign, for cosine, it's opposite sign.
Sorry.
Right. So sine theta, sine pi by 2. Let's put the values now. Sine theta. What's cosine pi by 2?
Cosine of pi over 2 is going to be 0.
Okay. Plus
And
cosine.
sine of pi over 2 is going to be 1.
Okay, perfect. And you have cosine theta, sine pi over 2, you said is 0, and minus sine theta and cosine sine pi over 2, you said is 1. So basically you're left with what?
You're left with sine plus cosine. No. Sorry.
What is sine theta times 0?
It's going to be just 0.
Okay, 0. What is sine theta plus 1?
It's going to be 0. That's going to be sine theta.
Okay, this time 0 becomes 0 and you're left with negative sine theta, which is basically cosine theta over negative sine theta, which is equal to what?
Tangent.
It's tangent?
No, cotangent.
Cotangent. Negative of cotangent. Good. Any questions, anyone? So today was basically about sum and difference formulas. So make sure you start making the list of formulas I gave you already. You should have unit circle. You should have the 3 formulas for this: sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta is equal to 1. Tangent squared plus 1 is equal to secant squared. Cosecant squared, cotangent plus 1 is equal to cosecant squared. These formulas. Then the negative angle formulas. And now we did today specific formulas is for sum and difference formulas. So make sure you make a sheet for yourself. For exam, it will be much more easier. So whatever formulas we did for sine, cosine and tangent, make sure you add in your sheet those formulas. On Monday, I'm going to do more formulas, which is double angle and half angle formulas. So make sure you are there present on Monday also. Okay. Any other questions, anyone?
Yeah. Is it why is it negative cotangent?
Why is
I
it
thought-
negative? There was a negative in the bottom. See, negative sine theta.
Oh, okay. Well, it was just in the original. It's just cotangent theta.
No, it was negative cotangent.
Oh, okay. I guess I read it.
Yeah, you forgot the negative sign. It was negative cotangent. And any other questions, anyone?
Are you gonna upload your notes today?
Yes, I will upload. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions, anyone? The only people's attendance I don't have today is Emondi, Alejandro, okay, Axel,
I'm here.
Axel is here. Okay, Carly. Okay, so Carly and Wandai and Alejandro. Okay, thanks guys. See you on Monday. Have a nice weekend, guys. Take care.
All
Happy
right.
Monday.
Bye, Miss Kim. Enjoy your weekend.
You too. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Take care. Bye.
I had a question. I was wondering if you could help me solve one of the questions from the homework.
Yes, sure. So can you share your screen?
I think so, but it's just I have it written down. If I
Okay,
can,
okay. If you can tell me, I'll do it. Yes. Let me just stop recording, okay? Wait a second.